Good morning, good night, good evening, everyone. I am Vigorously Anonymous. Okay, so last time we had a bit of an, interruption, but this time it should be taken care of, so we should hopefully have no interruptions. Hey! Let me in! No, go away! Let me back in! You don't live here! Go away! So, I just watched the first episode of Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats, long tails and ears for hands, guitars and sharps and flats, need sweet a groovy song, you're invited, come along. Hurry, hurry!
And it was not at all what I was expecting. For being about a band, the fact that they were actually in a band had very little to do with anything in the episodes. Essentially, it was just Scooby-Doo, except the characters were mostly different, and there's no mystery, as the villain is already quite clear. So, the first thing I'm going to go over are the characters. First up is Josie, the lead guitarist of the band and main character? Question mark? She seems to have absolutely no personality, even less than Daphne did in the original Scooby-Doo. And the only thing significant about her seems to be a relationship with Alan and a love triangle involving the two of them, and a certain other character I'll get to later. It is a little strange to me that Josie is probably the blandest character on the show, despite, being the titled character, but whatever. Valerie is the tambourine player of the band, and her entire personality is summed up as the smart one. What, you thought it was gonna be more? No, really, that's it. She's basically Velma, but without her glasses. Melody is the unbelievably stupid one. I know it's typical for blonde characters in these older shows to act this way, but she's probably one of the dumber ones that I've seen so far. Actually, she's probably the character that got the most laughs out of me. Well, aside from another character I'm going to mention soon. Alan is Josie's love interest, and seems to exist for the sole purpose of being in a love triangle with him, Josie, and another character I'll mention soon. Similarly to Josie herself, actually. I mean, I guess it's fitting. They are supposed to be, in love or whatever. Oh, also, he looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo. That's pretty much it. I guess it makes sense. He looks like Fred. He has a bland girlfriend. Kind of like, Fred. Next is Alexander Cabot, who, other than very clearly being from the 70s, has the only character trait of being a self-proclaimed coward. He also has the same voice actor as Shaggy, and is the band's manager. Oh, and he's the twin brother of a certain character I'm about to mention. The two of them seem to have a bit of a sibling rivalry going on. Alright, so you're probably getting a bit curious about who this character is I keep mentioning I'm going to be mentioning. So, Sebastian is an animal companion character, and belongs to the character that I made you think I was going to talk about. Unlike Scooby, Sebastian is a bit of a dick, and is sort of ugly to look at. Not much else to say about him. Alright, fine. I could talk about the last character, who also happens to be my favorite, Alexandra Cabot. First of all, can I just say, who the hell names their twin children Alexander and Alexandra? Or really, if you have children at all, twins or not, that's a bad idea in general. But anyways, aside from that, she is the owner of Sebastian, third member of the love triangle between Josie, Alan, and herself, twin sister of Alexander, and wannabe member of Josie and the Pussycats. Her entire personality is summed up with two adjectives. Self-absorbed bitch. Also, no, that's two words from hyphenated. Now, I'm not joking when I say this, but in the entirety of the episode I watched, there wasn't a single solitary moment when she wasn't being a bitch, and it can be pretty hilarious. For instance, if you and all of your friends were captured by an evil genius that just blew up a boat that you were taking to get to your new gig in an underwater submarine, dropped to the bottom of the ocean in a glass tube with no chance to escape, and were certainly going to die, you'd think you'd maybe put aside your petty differences, right? Just even for a little bit, you can die.
How do you like that, Josie? She always manages to get next to Alan.
Okay then, well what if you somehow manage to escape your underwater doom, find a deserted island, go down a hidden elevator into the same evil genius's secret volcano base, begin a high-speed car chase with him? Maybe then you'd put aside your differences, even just for a moment, right? Well, you'd at least stop bitching and show some other kind of emotion if you're face to face with the guy that just captured you at gunpoint in his underwater submarine, right?
What do you think you're doing, you creeps? Wait till I get my hands eyes on you, I'll show... So this is where that racket is coming from. What awful playing. So you're the ding-a-ling that sank our ship. What that group needs is a new leader. Come on, let's pick up the beat. Faster, faster! Hey, what's the big idea? I was just getting in the groove.
Well, I guess not. Turns out being a bitch can solve all of your problems and works in every situation. I just want to remind you, by the way, all of these examples were in the very first episode. So, to be honest, I'm a little bit excited to see just how far she can go with this in future episodes. Assuming I end up watching more. Anyway, it's time for the review of the actual episode now. Firstly, I know I'm repeating myself a bit here, but for being about a band, it really had nothing to do with them being in a band. It was more like a regular Scooby-Doo episode, except instead of solving a mystery, they already knew who was evil, and there was a slightly varied cast. Now, again, I know this is only the first episode, but usually the first episode tends to show what the rest of the episodes are going to be like, especially in these older cartoons. The episode starts with the group all aboard a crappy ship heading to Pago Pago for a new gig, with Alexander bitching about it, because of course.
I'd like to throw you over the side for getting us stuck in this old rust bucket.
I mean, it's not really undeserved this time. I mean, it's a pretty crappy ship.
It looks more like an accident going someplace to happen.
It turns out Alexander didn't actually have enough money for them to all board it, though, so they have to all walk and clean the ship, earning another warranted bitching from Alexandra.
I forgot to tell you, I didn't have enough money for the fare, so we have to work our way over.
Well, if that's the case, the first thing I'm going to do is work on you, brother.
Luckily for the group, though, the ship gets blown up, so they don't have to clean anymore. Yay! After briefly becoming stranded in the ocean, and Melody shows off her stupidity.
I'll keep a sharp lookout. Hey, I think we ran into a shoe.
A giant fish-shaped submarine comes out of the water, making them unstranded.
Shoo, nothing. We ran into a sea monster.
Look! Yipes!
Relax, chicken brother. This is no sea monster. It's some kind of a kooky sub.
Okay, well, at least it's not a sea monster, but I mean, a hidden underwater submarine still, I think, is kind of not something to be okay with. Surprise, surprise, though, the submarine actually belongs to an evil guy.
You are the prisoners of Captain Nemo.
And it turns out he had literally no reason to take them into a submarine. No, seriously, he had literally no reason to take them. They weren't bothering him at all, and it's not like the secret entrance's volcano base is above water, so it's not like there's any reason for him to have accidentally found them by coming out of the water. So, seriously, why the hell is he doing this again? He has very unclear motives.
Captain who?
You gotta be joking. Captain Nemo lived over 100 years ago.
I never joke. The first Nemo was my great-grandfather. He sailed in a submarine exactly like this one.
I'm pretty sure they didn't have submarines like that over 100 years ago, nor the proper technology to make them.
Unfortunately, you're of no use.
We're useful! We're useful, honest! We are useful!
What can you do?
Let's show him, girls.
You're quick change artists?
Oh, I was gonna make a joke about that, but he did it for me. So instead, I don't think dressing up in sexy cat costumes is the greatest idea to do when you've just been kidnapped. I mean, I feel like there could be some unwanted, rapey side effects, but, you know, maybe that's just me. Anyway, the group is dropped to the bottom of the ocean to their death, except they're not, because Sebastian saves them, because despite being evil, he still likes cats.
I like his style. He stays.
Sebastian, you're a traitor. Good old Sebastian to the rescue. I always said he was a loyal and trusted friend.
The The group then swims to Zord Island.
Now that we're off the bottom, we're hopelessly lost at sea.
We're not the only ones. Look, there's an island that's hopelessly lost at sea, too.
An island?
And then this very typical Hanna-Barbera cliche where they lean into a secret entrance and fall into it reveals an elevator.
4th floor. Teen fashions, pop posters, groovy records, and Nemo's no-no notions. All out.
Which the group all decided would be a wonderful idea to go in despite being inside of a fucking volcano on Zord Island, not even a mile away from where the evil guy just dropped off. Like, how stupid do you have to be to do this? Alexandra decides to push random buttons because, hey, why the hell not, right?
Where do you suppose it goes to? If I could make heads or tails of these crazy control buttons, maybe we'd find out.
I don't see what the big fuss is all about. Just push anyone.
Wrong one! Push another button! Nice going, quick fingers.
Wait, they want to see where the elevator goes. Wait. And now they've gone where the elevator went. She did what they wanted to do, right? I don't really see what the problem here is. And they fall into the volcano base. Alexander then decides to split them up for some reason. Valerie is to discombobulate the submarine's engine, whilst everyone else but him goes to retrieve their instruments, despite the guitar becoming broken and unusable in a previous scene. Alexander ends up being forced to go with Valerie, and the group goes separate ways. Josie's group almost immediately runs to holy crap! A laser shooting the security robots?
Zapping zappers.
Okay, then. Anyway, they end up doing that disguise pretend to be a doctor thing from Scooby-Doo. Alexandra, being Alexandra, gets jealous of Josie being with Alan, and has Sebastian fill Josie's nurse uniform up with helium to make her float in the air. And then the evil guy and his henchmen come in.
It's those meddlers. Gods, capture them!
They escape, of course, beginning a typical Hanna-Barbera chase scene. While that was going on, Valerie and Alexandra somehow very quickly found the submarine, hiding inside it, and where the engine was. Seriously, it took them 5 minutes. Then, for literally no reason, Valerie has Alexander be the one to plug the cords into the things, despite having literally no reason not to do it herself, and knowing exactly what she's supposed to do with them while he doesn't. So Alexander plugs in the cords, and this happens.
Watch out for the road runner. Watch out, or he'll run you right down. Watch out for the road runner.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, so... Anyway, typical Hanna-Barbera chase scene ensues. And eventually Alexandra accidentally catches the villain in the net, and then catches herself with the same net, but isn't in the same net as the villains? So it splits into two? Somehow? Okay. Then the Coast Guard that they had no way of contacting thanks them, and the villains call them meddlers, and they get back on the boat to Pago Pago. And then the episode ends with Alexandra bitching about the boat again, before being put on her own tiny boat attached to the back of the regular one. And so, that was the first episode of Josie and the Pussycats. Overall, I found it to be pretty entertaining. My favorite character was definitely Alexandra, purely because I found it funny how much she didn't give a crap about anything but herself and Alan. The second best character would probably be Melody, mainly because aside from her horror, the rest of the cast is pretty bland and interesting, even if she is pretty bland herself, only being stupid and nothing else. But I mean, she's funny at least. That's something. I still think it's weird how little it had to do with him being in a band, but I digress. The story, as I mentioned, is pretty simple, like most Scooby-Doo episodes, but entertaining enough to not be boring. Again, like most Scooby-Doo episodes. I may review more episodes in the future, but for now I think I'll focus on other things. If I do review more episodes though, I'll probably review 3 in 1 video or something, so that way I don't have 50 different Josie and Pussycats videos. Okay, bye everyone! Oh, she's still there? Hey. Come on, let me in. Yeah, he is. I told you to go away. Come on! Let me in. No, go away.